Locals to local, we cover our own underground classics from our favorite time zone. Along with our guests, we'll take you back in time. It's the 709 Rewind with Richie, Keith, and Brian.
This next song is one of our own. It's called Monster Day.
First time I saw you guys were at the LSPO Hall. I think you guys stood out because everyone was in plaid attire and baggy jeans, and here's a band that pops on with tight black jeans and leather jackets and jean jackets, which was like completely opposite from. So yeah, let's start off with the look before we get into the music, hey? No, how did Ditch form?
Back in 1991, Rubber Samuel and Undermine were playing some gigs together. So myself and Paul were in Undermine, and Bob and Doug were in Rubber Samuel, and that's how we all met. 30 years ago now. And so what happened was both of our bands broke up, and so we just we went to Doug first, and we said, you interested in doing something and all that. And then he brought Bob into the picture, and so then we started doing some writing and rehearsing and stuff. And I suppose it was the beginning of 1992. And
sure.
That was the start.
Was that in my back shed?
That was good, yeah.
You had an extension cord out from Doug's house because there was no electricity or nothing.
And we never had any complaints from any neighbors, which was good.
Yeah, okay.
Right. Now Bob Dix, my dad saw you play live, and when at the LSPO Hall once, and he came up to me and he said, "You got to watch the guitar player. He plays with his fingers." And he was a big, huge Mark Knopfler fan.
Right.
And you were, so I went to see you play, and I was like, that guy, he doesn't play with a pick. It's so weird. And he's playing punk rock.
Why'd you call the band Ditch? I've often been curious. It's a cool name.
I think that was the Doug Mason name, wasn't it, Doug?
Oh, I think we were trying to come up with a name, and then I think we had a gig at Junctions, and then I think it just kind of go with Ditch. I don't even know if we talked about it that much. And then the boys were like, yeah, that's good. Yeah, that sounds good. It's kind of that era. Come up with something a little bit not too poppy, not too.
The original name was the Marbles. Remember, Doug?
We had a bunch of Sick Room Candles. We were going to call ourselves.
I remember people asking about it. And
oh my God!
Saying, "Well, we're not in the middle of the road. We're in the ditch."
Yeah.
What's the influence, isn't it? Because it was completely 180 degrees from what everyone else was playing back then.
And we all like Blur, and Suede and Ride, and so we all kind of like that poppier stuff that was happening back then, where it's the grunge crowd. Which we all loved, and which we tried to do a few tracks that were heavier, riffier and heavier, kind of, Black Sabbath or whatever. But we always kind of strayed. I didn't ever want to yell. I always felt kind of like singing, and it's not. I didn't want to be aggressive, so but still kind of punky, poppy, So we tried to go down that middle road.
I always thought it sounded like haunting melodic pop music.
Yeah, I was always impressed with the melody. Yeah, that it was far more evolved melodically than anything that was on the go.
Thank you, Jody. I mean, and Jody's a big reason we all got into music back then. I mean, those guys were getting lots of attention and stuff. And I mean, I don't think any of us thought we were going to be successful or whatever, but I think we just wanted to throw our hat in the ring and
I mean, if that guy can do it.
I was thinking about that notorious incident the other day where I think Jody was half jokingly, "Let's burn this place down." Next thing you know, he's getting accused of inciting a riot or whatever.
Now, if we want to talk about the reality of that story, that's fine. Let's continue on with Ditch. The actual facts behind that story are
but it's notorious. It just all you think about the scene back then, and all these memories pop up, right? All these.
Well, the fastest thing that I can say that we'll move on from immediately was that we were to play the Delta. We had to have $1 million insurance policy.
Oh, really?
And what I said was, we have $1 million insurance policy. Don't do any more damage than $1 million worth of damage. And anyways, it was an inside job between the Delta and Carver, Dave Carver. But what happened was because of that, they didn't. Everyone was smoking in that room back in the day when you were allowed to smoke. And they were going to change the carpet anyway, so they were actually able to say that we had nullified the conditions of that insurance policy, and they were able to use that insurance policy to get new carpet, and then they blamed us that there was cigarette butts in the carpet and stuff. And anyways, it was like this long thing. But anyways, let's go back to interesting things and how really deliciously melodic Ditch stood out from all the other bands that were on the go at that time.
Who wrote the music, and how was the writing process with Ditch? Was it like the common kind of someone writes a riff and someone writes lyrics over it, or like did the bass player, did Paul write the music?
Everybody, you'd bring a riff in. We were very democratic. Yeah.
Oh, and let me pass the conch. I saw Paul talk there. Okay, pass the conch to Paul.
I seem to remember Doug the Mason used to come in with a cool riff pretty often, and Bob and I would play around with it a bit, and Doug would add drums to it, of course. And I seem to remember lyrics used to come a little later in the process. But
I think I wrote the lyrics to Monster Day, maybe the bass riff. Autumn Eyes was, I think all the lyrics were Bob, and most of the music I think was probably Bob on that one. But we all would sort of, we'd all sort of, we'd hash it out. Maybe there should be a break here, a break there. Let's come up with a different, riff in the middle of the song, stuff like that. So it was pretty democratic.
Right.
Yep.
Completely democratic. Nobody wanted to have an ego and say, "Oh, we're gonna do this song and that song." It was just like, "Hey, you think this riff is cool? Do you think these lyrics are cool?" Blah blah blah. And we just go through the process.
The writing, the prose, or the what was the stuff you were writing about? Was it just stuff to fit stuff into the music, or was there a plan or past experiences that you write about? And a lot of it that I've listened to is a lot about I don't know, just desire and I don't know, thoughts of a loved one or something, or the desperation, or is that the word, despair?
I'll put that one over to Bob. I think Bob wrote Autumn Eyes, which is great lyrics for Autumn Eyes, but I'm not exactly sure. Bob's inspiration.
Human relationships,
What is it, Bob?
Human relationships, I think love is a fair theme. I don't know if it was considered much of a fair theme in punk, or post-punk, but I always considered it a fair theme. You know, Desperation, for sure. You know, I just watched rewatched the 24-Hour Party People.
Oh my God in heaven!
Joy Division story.
One of the greatest,
I know, man.
the greatest movie about music ever made.
Yeah, fantastic.
That's the Joy Division redramatization you're talking about?
Joy Division,
Yeah.
Manchester.
Oh, Manchester, yeah.
Manchester.
Oh.
Factory Records.
About factory records and stuff. It's
That's
so
a
funny
great movie.
because it used to be a VHS and it looked like somebody taking ecstasy and it was completely marketed wrong. And then I just happened to be at somebody's house and they put it on as like, this is really one of the most exceptional movies I've ever seen around this topic. And even structurally, when that whole thing of like, this didn't happen this way.
Right.
You know, like that completely, like even the perspective of that movie is like completely original. Oh my God. It's so cool. It's so cool to hear you. Sorry, I just totally fangirl about that thing.
I had to stop watching it. After Ian hangs himself, I can't watch any more of that movie. Like I watched it the first time, all the way through, but I can't get past that scene anymore.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
desperation takes hold, right?
Yeah.
My question is really for Doug. How many in the run of a show? How many sticks did you break? And that's some of the hardest hitting drums I think I ever heard in my life. It's amazing.
There's a lot of blood, a lot of pain, a lot of knuckles hitting the hoops of the snare drum. I didn't break a lot of heads, but I did break a few foot pedals. Yeah, well, I broke a few some snare heads, yeah, but mostly it was pretty good, you know.
You can
duct tape goes a long way.
Man, when I put that on to go learn it, it jumped out at me. Like you could taste the enthusiasm. It was amazing.
The kick was pretty strong, and we were like, how many?
I got Rod Wills, God rest his soul. I know I stole that Gallup triplet thing from him. I'm confessing to it now. He was I don't know, he was my favorite local drummer, and that's where that Gallup. I like doing that. That shows up in a lot of songs.
One thing I really love about what I used to love watching you playing drums, and one thing I've always noticed, especially for drummers at the LSPU Hall, is you would show up and you would play. You'd have a ride and one crash, and then you'd have a splash cymbal. And I've never really seen anyone else playing with a splash cymbal at the hall. And I started noticing it, especially when we were redoing the song, and you'd have to splash on all these crazy accents, and that really gave the song's character. That's what I really enjoyed about the Ditch. Well, especially your drumming on Ditch, is these little splash cymbals you put in these weird accent places is great, right?
I only used 2 cymbals because I couldn't afford to break any more. You know, like cymbals. I mean, you know how expensive they are.
Yeah.
So I said, I'll just make do and try to, utilize a small kit,
I got
the splash. Nice. The splash, I only use that in Ditch. I after Ditch ended or whatever, I kind of put that away. But I was thinking about it a bit lately. Actually, I wouldn't mind having one. Putting it back, having a little. I'm thinking about adding the crash in now.
One of the other unique things that stood out for me was Doug's look up in front of stage. Doug Mason's look with the polka dot black shirts, probably purchased from Le Chateau, and the bent angled microphone kind of thing. Was that just natural, or was that thought up of as a gimmick or?
No, I think that was just natural. Yeah, you're trying to hang on for dear life sometimes. I didn't have too much stage fright back. I found, and probably you guys now still playing, once you sort of get up there and you're in your own little bubble, moving around, plugging in amps and doing your sound check, then you're fine. But yeah, I just would always, hang on to the mic. Some of the videos that show up, it's like, you know, it's sometimes like I heard of Rod Stewart or something that Long John Baldry told Rod Stewart, you know, always stand, you know, with your legs slightly apart when you're singing and all this shit. And I never knew any of that stuff back then, like stage presence or whatever. It's just like, yeah, well, you know, your favorite bands, they just kind of got up there and kind of moved around a bit. So yeah, it was never any thought behind it.
Except
Just-
when you painted yourself gold.
Which one?
When you painted yourself gold that night.
Oh yeah.
I was actually trying to convince Chrissy to paint herself gold and wear a polka dot shirt for one of the performances.
No, he didn't have a shirt. He was just painting himself gold.
Oh. What was it, Paul?
Head to toe, but he had your boots were silver, weren't they, Doug?
I think I had a pair of boots that I spray painted silver or something like that. Yeah, we tried a few things.
Acting like a statue and stuff.
For me, I've been since we've been doing these things, right? So the first one was Popmaster, and my wife Amanda did the vocals on that one, and then I got involved shortly after. So it was just in time for the one we saw that you may have seen on Bung, where we covered Bury It, and then like for us playing the music or whatever. I guess you guys are the third ones that me and Richie and Brian did the like the core band for it. Before I got involved, I was thinking to myself, or I was kind of wondering, you know, am I romanticizing that period? I was there. I played with After Forever from '94 on and stuff. And, you know, I saw you guys play. And then, you know, I never really heard much of it afterwards. But I always had a place in my heart, if you like, for, you know, your band, Chevy, the one I was in, you know, Bung, all those guys, Liz Band, you name it. And, you know, sometimes I caught myself over the years wondering, was it really that good? Or do I just feel that way because I was 19 or 20 at the time or whatever? But since I've gotten into it and actually learning your songs, it was that good. And now, as a more mature player, it's even better than I remember, because there's things that are in those songs. And I said something similar to the Bung guys that reveal a bit of a mastery that defied your age. Like subtle things, like Paul's playing power chords sometimes in those songs on the bass, not a common thing, but it was always in the right place and it really added to the song. That's just one that sticks out in my mind, but I really got to hand it to you guys. All this time later, those songs, Atomize, Monster Days, they still hold up really, really well. They sound as good now as they did back then, and that's not an easy thing to accomplish. So congratulations and thank you.
Thank you.
Very much.
Yeah, we had a hard time deciding which song to do, so we decided to do two of them. And Richie put out the call. He discussed it with me and Keith, and he suggested Chrissy sing for Atomize. And it's like, oh yeah, that's a perfect fit, and put her spin on it. And how did you feel about singing it, Chrissy?
Oh, it was a lot of fun. The song's really catchy. It got stuck in my head for since I heard it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did. So like I wasn't there. I'd never heard the song before, and I thought the music was really cool. And yeah, it was really enjoyable to learn it. It was really fun.
Question. I got one question.
Yeah.
I just want you to answer this. Sorry, Mike, 1 second. My question is, the lyrics for Monster Day. Is the Monster Day a metaphor? Is it like, you know, hanging out, doing bad things, and you kind of look like a zombie, and the cops, you know, as sort of like predatory, they're kind of like werewolves, and, you know, when the person wakes up, they look like Frankenstein? Is it a bit of a metaphor?
I think because the riff sort of had that weird, crampsy kind of, you know, vibe to it. I think the lyrics then came from the riff, you know, to sort of, and then I think once I I'm pretty sure I wrote the lyrics for that. And it just kind of, once you started with that theme, Monster Day, then it was just riffing on that theme.
That's
you know,
what I found.
right?
That's what really impressed
Right.
me about it, because it works as a, you know, a straight up like fun, ghoulish tune, but the metaphor is totally, you know, like really, because when I was doing the vocal for it, I was reading the words and I was like, yeah, this is one layer underneath what I'm reading. You know, you should be commended. Nice, really nice piece.
I do believe it did go to number 1 on CHMR for about a week back in whenever we released
I remember
it.
that.
All right, I'm just dealing with something downstairs. Love you guys. Love you.
Thanks,
So
Jody.
excited to see you guys.
Thanks, Jody.
Best of, best of.
You're a legend,
Thank you.
Jody. Thanks.
No worries.
I'm just still alive.
I always thought Ditch, for me, listening back on the songs, it was like Misfits Go to College. kind of the vibe I get from it. I don't know.
Chrissy nailed it on the dot, because we were talking about this before, or when she first started hearing it, and as soon as we started listening, we were talking about the cramps, not like stomach cramps, but I mean like the band cramps. So.
Yeah, because there was that big like towel feeding into the end of the song, and I was like, "What is that?" Because I didn't know the other song or the other track, and then you sent it to me, and I was like, "This sounds like Psychobilly. It sounds like the Cramps. It's pretty cool." So immediately,
That's also the vibe I got from the guitar playing, like that kind of like rockabilly or psychobilly kind of style of like the rock and roll punk style with it, which I find really interesting, because like I've never seen anyone play that in finger style with like I keep going back to Bob playing finger with fingers, and it was like eye-opening for me for that time, because everyone just played guitar with like with a pick.
I wish I could.
And did it sound like that, Richie?
No, no, it was actually nice and lush. I remember meeting Bob for the first time,
Bob's playing, yeah.
and at the LSPU Hall, and he pulled up a solid state Vox amp, and he hauled out a chorus pedal out of the back of the open back Vox amp, and that's all you played with, wasn't it, Bob?
For a while, yeah, and then added a distortion in there.
Yeah.
A little while, people couldn't get it down. But.
Yeah, and it sounded great.
I think we were always borrowing vintage amps from people, and they were like, "Just this once. You can only use it once."
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get everyone to click on the link. A little breather to go watch it. We'll keep hitting. We'll stay recording, Brian. So just
Yeah.
And then let's just jump back in and talk about the experiences. I'd love to hear what Chrissy had to say about recording this whole thing, and Jody's experience recording this thing as well.
And while you're clicking on the links, we might as well introduce everyone in the band that's joining us from Ditch. This is 709 Rewind. We're here with Ditch, and we have Doug and Paul and Bob. Do you guys want to introduce yourselves?
Doug Mason here. Good to be checking in with all you guys.
And we got Doug Rowe.
Okay.
Hey, thanks, Doug Rowe here. Good to see everybody.
And Paul Grushi, who's bass.
Yep, Paul Grushi here. Nice reminiscing.
And Bob Dix.
Hello. Can't believe it's been almost 30 years. Man.
30 years. Holy crap.
Music.
And look at the background of your, you got the 2 posters hung up there in your
I know, man. I hung it
pretty-
special for tonight.
Oh, sweet. Oh, look, there's a shirt. Someone got the shirt. Where is it?
Yeah, Bob's got the ditch.
Ooh.
That shirt always looked good.
Yeah, that was a good shirt.
Cool design.
Yeah.
I loved it because back in the 90s, when I wore longer shirts, you guys had the one that didn't shrink. So it's like wearing a dress, and it never fell apart. Bob, can you show that again and say something so I can get you on camera?
Joanna McDonald sent me this about 2 years ago. Her ma found it in the attic. Wanted to know
Oh my Lord!
throw it out or not.
Jeez.
So she sent it to Joanne, and Joanne sent it to me. I offered her $100, but she sent it for free.
Cool.
So shout out to Joanne for that.
That's very cool. Well done, Joanne.
It's just the,
Well done.
the logo. Yeah. Paul's design. There's Hillary.
Yeah. So hot.
How many did we actually print? Maybe like 50?
I think it was 100 actually.
100.
Might be time for another run.
Yeah, they were hot commodities.
You might have to now after this airs. So we have Chrissy. That's going to start it off. Chrissy Breen, who sang on Autumn Eyes, and we have Jody Richardson doing Monster Day. So yeah, let's check it out.
And on behalf of the band, I hope we pass the audition.
Right. Well, what do you guys are all done? What do you think?
Oh, it was fantastic. Fantastic.
Waiting on.
I'll probably smoke a big doob and watch it like 20 times and and get all psychedelic about it. We have that. There's an old ditch show on LSPU Hall, and I think it's like a full show. I'm not sure if you recorded that, Richie. The one that's on the one at the hall where Andre Samuelson gets up and sings with us and stuff.
No, I didn't do that.
No, you didn't put that up. Yeah, I've watched that one a bunch of times because the sound quality is decent. And, just to rehear the songs, you come home late in the night, 2 o'clock in the morning. Oh, listen to that. Crank it, put the headphones on. Yeah. So to hear you guys do these songs was like a similar sort of, like you say, it's like, yeah, we really were pretty good, back in the day. I mean, we were just trying to impress everybody else. We weren't, nobody was going to get a record deal, right? So we just wanted to keep up with everybody else. And then, like people like Jeff Younghusband were always there, always in the front, support. Even if there was 10 people, Jeff was there, up front. So, people like Fred were always around and you guys were always around. And it was like, you just kind of wanted to keep moving forward. Right. And, we some songs people liked, we dropped, write a few more songs. Right. So, it was a good time.
Great.
I really, really loved your cover of Mr. Pharmacist.
Yeah. Well, we had some interesting covers too, I thought, for that time.
I've never heard it before until you guys played it. And then I found out it was a cover. It's like, holy this
Got a lot, yeah.
So what do you think, Paul, Bob, and Doug? Got any questions for the two here that redid your tune?
Man, it was fantastic. Loving to tears, man, almost. Going on camera, I think it would have cried.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
Yeah.
I think Autumn Eyes meant a lot to Bob. Was it about any particular girl in general? I'm not sure.
It was about half a dozen.
About half a dozen. Yeah. No, that one was. They all came together fairly quickly. The songs, we didn't struggle over them too much. Monster Day came together pretty fast.
I think so.
And I think Autumn Eyes, the structure of it, we had to hash out a bit, but yeah.
Once we had the chorus, and then Paul added the extra music, ready to go, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I remember, for a lot of our songs, once we had some music and lyrics, everything. I mean, I don't claim to be a great singer or anything, but the melody lines sort of came pretty easy. Just didn't really have to think about it too much. Just started hashing it out and jamming it out, and way to go.
How about you, Paul? What do you think? What did Keith look any somewhat close to looking like you with the Rickenbacker or the Gibson?
Gibson Ripper.
Yeah. Is that your old Ripper, Paul?
Paul's Ripper.
Oh, is it?
It was Doug Mason's old bass, actually.
Yeah, I bought that guitar from, I can't remember his name now, but he was doing sounds and stuff. Who?
Mark Oakley?
Yeah.
Mark Oakley. He was in a band called Big Tears. And Duncan Snowden used to say they were the best band in St. John's back in the mid to early 80s. Yeah. And he was away, and then he came back to town, and he was selling his bass. I bought it, and then I sold it to Paul. Yeah.
I've got it here with me right now. I would say what that thing weighs off of 20 pounds.
Yeah.
It sounds like $1 million. It's a great bass.
Great. We used that myself. We used that on our TGC recording. We got that bass. That's what Bob is using on that recording. It sounds so awesome, The Ripper, the power, and the.
It didn't have a growl.
So Doug, wasn't Mark put that bass, the headstock through a wall at some gig, and it was.
Yeah, there was some sort of crack or something in there, but I think it got repaired professionally or something. He told me at the time.
the video recordings for both of you two, Jody and Chrissy. Like, what gave you the ideas for doing what you did? I think you're in the same room where you recorded it there, Jody, because everything seems red.
Yeah, well, this is just an overhead light, but what I have a very large I have a stoplight, like an actual traffic stoplight, and I use that shining at my face.
Your headphones were pretty unique looking too. Almost looks like those.
Cool.
Those look like those I would call cans.
Yeah. Space cans.
Space cans, I think.
Old space cans. They're Futura. They're called Futura.
Wow.
Yeah, they're Russian. Yeah, they're Russian. Yeah.
Excellent. And
communist era.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything is large and chrome. Ladas.
That's right.
Yeah. No, man, I thought the track was great, and I thought Chrissy, I haven't seen yours. I haven't seen yours, so I'll watch it afterwards and stuff. So I'm looking forward to that. But man, boys, the job on the track, it's just on fire. Sounded fantastic, and like I got, I was a fan of the track anyways, and when it showed up, it was quite thrilling just to hear just how shiny it was. Yeah, it just kicked me. A
lot of practice from the pandemic, being stuck home, not knowing what to do. So,
I'm sure all of us are going. Jody Richardson covered one of our tunes, did the vocals. Wow, things have taken a turn for the better here. 2021.
Let me hang out with the cool kids for once, will you?
This one has been the most challenging so far because this is the first back-to-back that we've done, and I can't stop playing, so we got to play the whole. If I screw up, I got to start from the start again. So it, you guys,
and Autumn Eyes as well. Yeah, just fantastic. Because we never got a chance to. We did the track for the Falling Rocks cassette. And it turned out all right, and it was that was a one track kind of thing as well. I think we might have did a couple of tracks, 4 tracks or something. I can't quite remember, but yeah, you guys did a fantastic job of that.
Did Wallace Hammond do the recording for you guys for the Danger Falling Rock as well?
That was After Forever. Dan Moore.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he just brought some gear in. Away to go.
Cool.
333, right?
Yeah.
Halfway to hell?
Yeah, just down at the Jam Space.
Chrissy, what? It looked like you went out and recorded your video at like 2 a.m. in the morning. It was nighttime and there was hardly any cars on the road. Is that what you did?
No, I go to bed early these days. It was not that late. It's just nobody down there. I kind of thought that, St. John's in basically winter kind of looks like St. John's in autumn. It's like, let's go with that. And I don't know why, but I felt like kind of a wider angle and walking around downtown felt like the right vibe for the song. I didn't overthink it. I just did whatever kind of felt, because otherwise it would never get done. But
I do like that.
I found it gave it the life that our videos needed. Because
we were all like cooped inside. It was nice to see something different of it being outside. And I'm always a fan of seeing like, especially where I live in the St. John, seeing video of outdoors being shot like that in a stylistic way, because it becomes history eventually. Like, you're gonna look back at that video when some of those buildings are gone, go like, oh geez, I haven't seen St. John's like that in a while. Just like looking back at St. John's downtown, like in the early 1900s and stuff. So,
and the cinematography on that part of the video is just amazing.
Yeah,
I was blown away when I saw it.
Kevin filmed it. My partner Kevin Williams, he filmed it. He did a great job.
Cool.
It was fun to work on a video. I usually make short films. And I haven't been doing much of that, so I kind of was like, let's do something a little bit you know, Olivia a little
Creative.
bit. I don't. Yeah. There we go.
We've been well, obviously Richie and Brian and I have been doing a lot of stuff. I don't know what I'd be doing without it, you know, for a creative outlet. And I'm so happy that you got involved, Chrissy and Jody. It's a real pleasure to hear you sing. You know.
Oh man, it was it really was. I have been a fan of Ditch for a long time, and I've really been a fan of you guys creating all these videos during the pandemic and stuff. So it was very cool to once again, like I said, hang out with the cool kids.
You're more than welcome.
It's an honor just being able to play along with you.
Excellent.
Man, it was fire. The track was fire, boss.
No, it turned
More to
out
come.
amazing.
Yeah.
And-
Well, it's
and-
9:05, everyone. I thank you everyone for jumping in on this. We can go on forever about this because there's so much to talk about.
Yeah, and before we clue up, Richie, I just wanted to mention. So Chrissy is currently. Are you still with Black Market Hardtack?
Yep. Black
Okay,
Market.
and you're also doing Lydia Extracted.
Yep, that's a side project of mine. That's pretty much all me. Occasionally I bring in other people. It's pretty fun.
What is it, Chrissy? Can you explain those two projects just quickly?
Yeah, sure. Black Market Hardtack, Curtis Kilfoy and Brian Wade dreamed that up, and it's synth punk, I guess, post punk. There's a lot going on.
Cool.
We're a really fun band. I'm just gonna put that out there.
Cool.
And,
They actually cover a Giver song. You gotta look it up on YouTube.
yeah.
Which one?
They make you dance. That's for sure.
I Feel Ugly?
Yes. I was
Oh
like,
my God.
yes. I love that track.
Feel ugly today. Feel ugly today.
And they have some very great videos as well that you can check
Cool.
out. I know that they certainly got me dancing a bunch of times.
Is anything on YouTube? Can I see it on you? I'm not on Facebook.
Yeah. We're on YouTube. We have a couple things up there.
All right.
that are pretty fun.
Cool.
And Jody,
So
what have you been working on?
We're building a new band.
Awesome.
Yep. So we've been just working at that. I'm trying to have it ready for my birthday on June the 8th. So we're doing that. That's very exciting. Building a new one, and then I found all of the tracks to Calling All Favors. I thought we didn't have them, but we do. So we're actually going to properly remix that album. So we are unbelievably excited. So we're going to remix the whole album and then put it together with the EP, and we're going to release it on vinyl as a double album over the summer. And we're gonna do a new band. So a new band's gonna show up, and then you're gonna have a full document on vinyl of that remastered. And I think Jordan's gonna take the new remix of Best Served, and she's gonna slop it on the video that we did too. So yeah, I've been at that, man.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Isn't it great finding like hidden gems like that were like left behind and just trying to rework with them again?
Dude, we worked on that album for months and months, and it was mixed in 2.5 days by a guy who just was sick of the project and was already ready to walk away.
Right.
And was charging us a fortune. So it's such a two-dimensional mix, and it is heartbreaking. So to actually, I swear to God, it really is like Tutankhamun of hauling out all these tracks and going, oh my God, I totally forgot about that synth line.
Mhm.
Oh my God, we redid those guitars, and oh my, so seriously, we literally get up and walk around the room hearing some of this stuff. So yeah, I'm telling you, it's going to be really cool. We're really excited about it.
Cool.
Yeah.
How about the
And-
guys in Ditch? Anybody in Ditch working on any projects at the moment?
Myself and Bob are still trying to keep Two Guitars Clash alive.
Good.
Cool.
We have Darren Ford playing guitar with us now from the Sacrament. Darren, I don't know if you guys can remember Sacrament and the End, but Darren is coming from that thrash metal background. And he also he was in Hardliner with me and Paul too in the beginning, helped us start that up. But so myself and Bob are working on that. Bob, you want to say anything about that?
Yeah, just trying to write some new songs, and it's great playing with Darren from that, like you say, from that metal perspective. It's great mixing genres, Not that he's a hardcore metal player; he can do everything, but it's just keep it interesting,
Paul Guccio over there he's one of the busiest bass players in St. John's. If you didn't know, he plays in 2 tributes right now. One is the Guns N' Roses tribute, Hollywood Rose, and the other one's an AC/DC tribute called AC Percy.
Yeah, the Guns N' Roses tribute band now has been on the go on 18 years, actually.
Wow. That long.
And
Good
I
show.
joined AC Percy probably 3 or 4 years ago now. So it takes up a bit of time. And actually, Doug and Bob and I and a couple other people are in the works to get a bit of Blondie tribute going.
Oh,
We'll see what happens there. So it's really hard to try and do anything like that in the pandemic, right? I mean, one day you have a jam lined up, and the next it's a level 5 lockdown, and you can't leave your house, and so it's been really challenging that way. But I'm looking forward to finally getting back to doing some shows and some jamming and stuff.
Cool.
And this is why this is how we started this whole podcast, vlogcast, whatever you want to call it, tribute, our little diary of the past, is because of the pandemic and just wanting to play music.
Really cool. It's a great idea.
Yeah,
It really is. It was very thrilling when I found out about it.
Yeah. And we're honored that, he chose us to revisit.
Well, thanks again, everyone.
Thank you.
All right. Good to see everybody.
Yeah.
Good to see you all as well. Thanks for joining us. And anyone who's watching, just make sure that you like and subscribe. What are we supposed to say? What are
we just
like and subscribe?
Like smash.
Where do you subscribe?
That's definitely where it's to be.
Hit that like button.
Yeah.
All the
That's
Minecraft.
perfect, Jody. Well done. Thank you.
Watch our shit. Just watch it. Watch it and listen to us on Spotify.
Give us a like, hit subscribe, share with your friends, that'll be best kind. Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook. Get online and give us a look. We even got a podcast on Spotify. We're 709 Rewind with Richie, Keith, and Brian.
Now we're down to the part where you can help. If you like what you're seeing on 709 Rewind, head over to buymeacoffee.com/709 Rewind. Your support goes a long way in helping us reach a broader audience.